Okay, let's go ahead and get into the stock market technical analysis. We're going to look at the broad markets. We'll look at some individual trade ideas, and then I'll wrap up. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. We've got triple Qs on the daily chart, breaking trend as of right now. So there's a couple things I really want to point out. You can see this uptrend line here. This is the daily chart. We've got several reactions here, and then here's where we're trading right now. We're below trend as of right now. Day's not over though, so definitely want to, we got about an hour left. I'm kind of feeling like there's going to be an end of the day rally, and that's just kind of what things look like. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. You can see on the SPY, the S&P 500, this one's sitting right at support. So this one you can see on the daily support, and it's just sitting right there on support. So in order for there to be a broad market sell-off, you need to see both of these break trends. So that hasn't happened yet. As of right now, we're still holding that bullish trend. Now, if the day, if there's no rally today and they in fact end up selling it off, then you will have SPY breaking trend, and at that point you'll have a major sell signal on the daily chart in both triple Qs and the S&P 500. Okay, so that's one thing to look for. It really depends on how we close the day. One thing you want to look at, if I look at the weekly chart, you can see here on the S&P 500, we have a bearish engulfing candle now on the weekly chart. So that tells me that it's very likely we're going to see a break in trend on the weekly, but it hasn't happened yet. So again, we're close to getting those major sell signals on both indices, but we need to wait for that. And then if I go to the triple Qs, big bearish engulfing as well on the triple Qs. So, and again, that's on the weekly chart. So some of these signs that we're seeing now starting to show up give us an indication that we've likely topped out in the market. Okay, and that's really what this is telling us. So we'll keep an eye on that. And again, the trends to watch. The biggest thing for me is the daily chart and how we close the day. If there's 10 more minutes left in the day and we're clearly going to break down, especially on the SPY, then that indicates to me that we now have a break of trend and really a more lasting sell signal. Okay, so moving on. One thing real quick, and if we don't get the sell signal in the SPY, then that kind of leads me to believe that, okay, maybe the triple Qs can manage to rally up in the last hour back on support. All right, so that's what I'm watching for, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to get that end of the day rally and close right on support. Could go the other way though, so we will definitely want to really keep an eye on that. Here's another trade idea, PGR. We'll just get into some individual trade ideas. PGR on the daily chart. So the biggest thing here that I'm trading against is this big red bearish engulfing candle. That's a topping stick. Now you can see over the following 2 days, they did rally it up and just barely pop that, just barely, but close enough to where you can say they didn't quite take out that bearish engulfing. I mean, if you want to be very technical, yes, they did take it out, but I think to me, it looks like a stop rate. And then, going on the hourly, you can see they popped it way up here and sold it off and closed basically right near the open. So that is, to me, still a top. And the other thing is on the daily, this candle right here, yesterday basically is a doji reversal candlestick, and we're getting selling today. So that's a top. That looks like a top to me in PGR. And then you can see longer term, we've got this uptrend line here. Popped it briefly. They're sitting right there on support now, so we'll see where this closes. But I do think this is likely topped out, and we're going to start to head lower. NVIDIA. All right, so NVIDIA, again, NVIDIA's broken trend, so it tells me that NVIDIA is actually going to work its way down to its more major trend line support on the daily chart. There it is. Okay, we broke this short-term trend, and so, again, I think we're working our way down to that major trend line. So it's sell the rip in NVIDIA, and that likely should continue to put pressure on the triple Qs. regardless of whether we get a rally today into the close and maybe early next week, or if we sell off, I do believe that NVIDIA will continue to sell off. But in general, it's sitting kind of at support right about now. So no sell signal. You really need to take out that support to initiate the next sell signal and the continued move down on NVIDIA. There's a gap to fill right here, but right now support's about 1.7. Well, it's about 118. Got to take that out. Okay, Eli Lilly, LLY. This one's been on a tear, and we're sitting at support now. So you look at the daily chart, and I've got kind of some reactions right in here. There's a reaction right there, a bunch through there, and we're sitting right at support. So we do have negative divergence on the momentum. All right, momentum is dropping off, and we're sitting at support. We take out that trend line. That's a major sell signal in Eli Lilly. That should usher in a wave of selling. First level of support, it's about 793. You can see lots of reactions. So that should be support. So we take that trend line out. It should be a quick move down there. We'll probably get a bounce there. And then ultimately continue to work our way lower after that bounce. So something like this. Down, probably bounce, maybe even back test. Then come back down, break, and then work our way lower. Tesla, you can see Tesla's still kind of hanging in there. Trying to hold support. So I don't think we're going to get any definitive price action today. Next week, if we start to fail current levels and really just take out the lows right here, I just give it the benefit of the doubt. Just take out these lows. Get a daily close below those lows, and that should usher in a wave of selling on Tesla. So keep an eye out for that. Until then, it's hanging in there. GDX, the big thing about GDX and really gold miners is we're back below that resistance line. So if I go down to the weekly, you can see here, big resistance. I've got it kind of marked out in this downtrend line. All right, as I zoom in right there, and then right in there, we're back below there, just barely. But it's a weekly chart, so keep an eye on how we close today. That's obviously important. If I go down to the daily, though, you can see we are right there, close enough where we can't quite tell if it's a breakout and a back test or if it's a false breakout. So we do have to kind of keep an eye on it. However, we do have negative divergence, and that gives me an idea. It tells me that this is likely a false breakout. So we'll see how we close the day and how the price action picks up next week. Costco, another potential short, but not actionable actually quite yet. You'll see here on the daily chart, we've got support, and we're just kind of sitting there at support. Also horizontal support right in here. So again, the market's probably not going to give us an idea of what it wants to do today. I see a lot of things that are just sitting on support. They're not really bouncing. They're not breaking support. It's pretty tight range trading today. So likely pick it up next week. Just going back to the triple Qs, it really depends on do the buyers step in and recover this little breakdown, or does SPY actually break trend? So we don't quite know yet. About an hour to go, so keep an eye on that. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow morning, so feel free to join on that, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.